What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to tell you a story of something that happened to someone I knew as a juvenile. And he and I actually met in juvenile detention. We were in the rooms next to each other, so single man cells. We locked in alone, and at night, he and I would sometimes talk to each other. We worked out together also, and we were very close in age. Aside from those similarities, the thing that we had more in common than that was that we both had girlfriends at the time that we were locked up. And we both took those relationships very seriously. So, when I came out of my incarceration, I found out that the guy who I was close friends with at the time ended up with my girlfriend. Okay, so when I originally got arrested, I told him, we were all in a group we had a small group that we hung out together with, and I told him to keep an eye on her, make sure she stayed out of trouble and make sure she stayed around, the right people rather than strangers that we don't know. So what ended up happening was I come home, I start hearing shit, and I confronted them right away, or I confronted him, and he apologized and told me, how sorry he was, started crying, telling me he loved me, and this shit just happened, and whatever. My thoughts at the time were that I wanted to kill the guy. I really fucking wanted to kill him. Keep in mind, guys, both myself and the guy I'm going to tell you about, we were already fucked up in our minds. We were exposed to harsh things at a young age. I've mentioned in some of my other videos that I really believe that incarcerating young people fucks them up. Emotionally, spiritually, and mentally in many, many ways. Oftentimes, the damage is irreparable. You can't fix this. It doesn't go away. The majority of the guys that I went through those things with at that young age did not make it. What I mean by that is they're either involved in the system, regularly, where they're in that revolving door, they never get out, or they're doing life, or they are dead. Okay? So this applies to most of those people. And so I wanted to kill this guy. That's what my brain was telling me, to act violently and hurt him and lash out. And it wasn't necessarily because of the girl. As much as that hurt me, losing the relationship part of it, it was more the betrayal from him to me. You're supposed to be my friend. We were close, and this is how the fuck you treat me. And the disloyalty is what killed me. And thank God, that I was able to rationalize and come to the right conclusion that was crazy, that I shouldn't do that, and it's not worth it. Fuck these people. Fuck the girl and fuck him. Just don't talk to these people no more and leave it alone. And that's what I ended up doing. Now, the same thing happened to this other guy. Okay? His best friend ended up with his girl as a result of him going away. He didn't deal with it as well as I did. I'm sure I can understand what he was feeling because, as I mentioned, I felt the same. But he took it to the next level, and he ended up killing the guy that was once his best friend as a result of this betrayal. Okay, so one day, I'm at home and I'm watching the TV, and I see this news bulletin where this live thing is happening, and it's a police standoff. They have a guy surrounded, and it was him. I recognized him right away. And this thing ended real bad, guys. It was real fucking sad to see what happened. But basically, after he killed this guy that was his best friend, it fucked him up so much what he'd done. Okay? So going back to what I was saying, even though my mind was telling me it was right, when you actually take that next step and do some shit like that, you realize that it was wrong and that it was crazy. And now you're going to have to live with this forever. And I could only imagine how it fucked him up, but I understand. And he was so fucked up and traumatized by all the things that had happened, and now killing this guy that was so close to him at one point that he just lost it. And he committed, what's called suicide by cop. So they had him in broad daylight with an AK-47, and he was telling the cops to shoot him. He was saying, shoot me, just fucking kill me. And, it was so fucking difficult to know that this happened to him. The cops wouldn't shoot him. They were trying to save him, telling him just put the weapon down. And he started crying, and he just said, shoot me, just fucking kill me. Just fucking kill me. They still wouldn't shoot him. So he took the fucking machine gun and just sprayed some rounds into a building, into a brick building, and made the police shoot him. And they fucking lit him up with dozens of rounds, gunfire from every direction. His body fucking shook and dropped dead right there in the middle of the street. And I'm sharing this story with you guys not only because I know you enjoy hearing these things, and I've told you that I'm going to reveal some things about who I am and the things I've experienced, but also as a lesson to not overreact and not take those relationships that are early in our lives as seriously as we sometimes do. You know, I thought that that girl I was with was everything. You know, I mentioned her in another video. I ran away to Florida with her at one time. And, you know, we tend to do that when we're young. So the point of this lesson is, you know, women come and go in life. Relationships come and go. Friends come and go. Most of the people that you're involved with in your early life will not be around later on in life. They're not going to matter to you. So don't let your emotions and don't let your feelings bring you to a point where, you know, you're destroyed, like I was and like he was. I'm very lucky that in that case, you know, I didn't fuck up and cross that line. But that's how damaged we were. You know, we were so damaged that I was actually thinking that that was the right thing. And I think a lot of it has to do with just pain and not knowing how to deal with that pain and not having an outlet for that pain and all that built up emotion, and shit like this ends up happening. So this was a real, you know, tragic thing on multiple ends here. You know, it's fucked up that he killed his one-time best friend, and it's fucked up that he ended up dying the way he did. But part of me still feels, you know, that betrayal, that initial betrayal that caused this whole thing, how I was betrayed and how he was betrayed, was the cause of this whole thing. You know, it's fucked up when you're a principled person and the people around you don't take those principles and don't take that loyalty as seriously as you do, and shit like this ends up happening. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I'll talk to you next time.